Back in Birmingham, I wanted to hear what Midway Parks had to say. After all, there are two sides to every story. Unfortunately, that was to prove easier said than done. Behind me are the tow trucks and the business premises of the infamous Midway Parks, who are blasting their horns in an effort to stop us filming, because while they're very happy to make themselves known if your parking ticket's about to expire, they weren't quite so happy to talk to us in person about their business practices. Later in a statement, Midway Parks told us that they conduct their business legitimately, and whilst having come under investigation from the police, tax office and trading standards, they have never found any circumstance where the company has not acted fully legally. They pledge to be in business as long as people are parking illegally on private land. It's interesting that in Birmingham, trading standards are keen to get involved in complaints against car clamping and towing companies on their patch. Since the Security Industry Authority came into force, it's far from clear who you should turn to if you feel you've been unfairly clamped or towed.
So, what do you do if you have a problem, if you feel like you've been treated unfairly? Well, I guess the most obvious place to start is the SIA. After all, it's them that issues the clampers with the licences.
So, I decided to give them a call.
Do you investigate private clamping companies? I'm having a problem with one. So it's not you, it's Trading Standards that would deal with that? Okie doke, I'll give Trading Standards a call then. Nope, they can't help me. Apparently it's Trading Standards.
So we set about calling all 170 Trading Standards offices in England and Wales to see if they can help.
Good morning, is that Trading Standards?
2/3 said there was absolutely nothing they could do to help the victims of cowboy clampers other than offer advice. And a further 1 in 5 said they couldn't even do that. So who should people turn to? The advice of over half was to go back to the Security Industry Authority.
I was told by the SIA that you couldn't help and that I should call Trading Standards. So we called all 170 Trading Standards and they said they can't help, all they can do is offer advice. Some of them, a fifth of them, can't even do that.
Well, I can't comment on that.
Surely you have a duty, though, to regulate the people that you're providing with licences?
We do regulate them. They are licensed individually, and we have compliance and enforcement activities that ensure that people carrying out licensable activities are licensed. And if they're not, then we prosecute with our partners.
In the 3.5 years that the SIA has been operating, there have been under 50 licences revoked, out of a total of 5,000 issued. Whilst the Security Industry Authority are consulting on further measures they could take to deal with clamping misdemeanours, one organisation they may be taking advice from are the British Parking Association. Their code of conduct includes strict rules about how vehicle immobilisers should work.
Clamping should be seen as a last resort because it is quite a high penalty. You have your car clamped and all the inconvenience that causes, and therefore we do recommend to our members that what they do is actually use it in the last resort for the persistent evader and so on, somebody that continually undertakes this, and I think they generally accept that.
Unfortunately, over 3/4 of the industry are not British Parking Association members and don't follow their code of conduct. So the question remains, will we still be reporting on cowboy clampers in 2018? Well, if we are, we know that there's one man who'll still be campaigning for an end to clamping nightmares.
Basically, if you clamp someone and it's on private land, it is a civil matter. The police do not want to get involved. Whereas in 1992 in Scotland, there was a court case, and overnight the judge actually declared that clamping was extortion.
I think we should look to Scotland, where in 1992, clamping on private land was outlawed as extortion and theft. We could do the same here, and then for landowners, there are other ways to stop people parking on your land.
Before we go, we'd like your help with a future programme. If you're a father and are struggling to find enough time to spend with your children and fulfil your work commitments, we'd like to hear from you and your family. Contact us via itv.com/tonight, where you'll also find more information on tonight's programme.
An incredible documentary delves into the minds of some of the most talented people on the planet. From child prodigies to the UK memory champion, you'll never forget what you see in Superhuman Genius in half an hour here on ITV1. That's after Kev's on the warpath in our second visit to Coronation Street. Next.